Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
And we give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite sports icons and athletes. I'm Boom Gonzalez. In tonight's game plan, we go inside the game with our national boxing team. But first, we take a look at the collegiate scene in the UAAP Women's Volleyball Tournament.
Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. From established veterans and rising stars, there were many names that made headlines after incredible performances with the Final Four table set. Let's take a look at who has a fighting chance to claim the most coveted individual award. Now, joining us to talk about MVP candidates is UAAP analyst Ayel Estranero, who will have hot takes. Tama ba?
We hope so.
I hope so.
Okay. All right, so let's talk a bit about the names that are, I guess, the most highlighted names there. The most obvious one so far might have to be Ea Laure. Numbers-wise, impact-wise, just what's so special about her?
Exactly. Ea Laure is actually in the top 5 of the 6 skill sets, so it's safe to say that she has a complete package. And let's not forget, she's also a setter back in high school. That's one skill set that she's not in the top 10, but definitely she's still good at that. And she's very dependable, both in offense and defense. And she's very excellent, again, in all skill sets. And she is a power hitter, but she knows how to time her off speeds and her drop balls, and that makes her more efficient. Because at most times, this kinds of attacking styles, off speed and drop balls, it easily becomes a chance ball to the opponent. But with her, with the perfect timing, it allows her to be more consistent and efficient.
Ayel, do you remember season 84 at around this time? Ea was gassed
Exactly.
by last year. Diba? Buhat mundo talaga siya ng season 84. A big difference this year, and that's why the numbers are also better because she also has better health. But the eye test of what her impact with the team, talk about that, please.
Well, we talked about this. We talked about this in one of our broadcasts, that her collegiate career never really dipped down. She just keeps on improving. And one of the most noticeable improvements she has this season is her blocking. So the reason why I would choose her as one of the biggest candidates for the MVP is that she keeps on improving and she just never stops, and she's on fire. Again, she's in the right peaking of her season 85, and I think that's a very important because especially for their game tomorrow.
You know, you gave us notes here on Ea and some of the other candidates here, and you have a one-word note here for Ea as well, and that's fighter. Could you explain?
Well, it's very obvious. You will notice it the moment you watch her play. From start to finish, she's just very consistent. She's very dependable. She's composed and very focused. At most times, you'd see some players na very focused from the start, medyo nawawala. But with Ea, she's very laser focused. Not just in one game this season, but all her games from season 84.
Right. And with her, there's always a fighting chance with her, right?
Yeah.
Like when things are going wrong, at some point, pumursyento ka lang kay Ea and things...
Regardless, front row or back row.
Correct.
Yeah.
She's very dependable.
Which is something that we were saying about Bella Belen last year. I mean, the rookie MVP. Tell us about the difference of what you see this year, last year. She's still in the mix, obviously. And she's peaking also as of late, Ayel, sorry.
I feel like this season is a bit of a test of a character for Bella Belen because people expected a lot from her coming into this season because she was rookie MVP. So one thing I would really describe Belen is that she's very resilient because she didn't really let that pressure, put her down. She started slow, but she's able to bounce back, and she's peaking at the right time this second round and towards the elimination round. And for me, she's very versatile. She knows how to vary her attacks, and she's very smart because she's very fast in seeing and recognizing the weak spots, not just in the blocking, but more in the floor defense of the opponent.
Number 5 in scoring, 3 in spiking, 9 in serving, and 7 in receiving. You know what? I want to see a matchup between her and Ea. And oh wait, UST and NU is coming up, and it's going to be important because of the battle for positioning. Number 2 spot up for grabs. How do you see this matchup?
Oh, it's really hard to predict who will win that game. But for sure, there's nothing much to talk about the offense side because that's given. Both teams offensively, they're very good. Lamina has so much offensive options, even Carvalho as well. But for me, NU needs to really be stable in their first ball, the receiving, because you have 3 players who are in the top 10 of serving on the side of UST. But UST on their side, they also really need to work on their floor defense and net defense as well. So it's just a matter who will defend better tomorrow.
And it's going to be at a venue where they met each other so many years in high school. And speaking of which, there will be 8 players in that UST lineup from the high school program, 12 players from NU. So this is going to be such a throwback Bella Belen Ea Laure battle. We're so excited for that. Okay, that's tomorrow. That's virtually parang a best of 3 now between the number 2 and number 3, if that happens. Let's move on to the other great individual standouts that you think. Adamson is right in the mix again for Final Four after so long. And who's the engine in that team?
Oh, well, you have Louie Romero. She's number 1 in setting. She knows how to really get everyone involved in all her plays. She is a setter who is also offensive. Her 1-2 plays, perfect timing, as always. And she is a setter with a sense of urgency, I would say. And by that, I mean, she knows when the opponent is gaining momentum. She knows what plays to use to be able to get a better counterattack. And for a setter, it's very important that you have that sense of urgency na, okay, next point, dapat ma-convert na talaga to.
You know, last and not least here, from LaSalle, you have to talk about Angel Canino because, again, what a spectacular season they've been having as a collective, but Angel has been standing out.
Oh, definitely. Angel Canino did not even surprise everyone. We expected a lot from her, and she just really showed up and did a lot of great performance this season. She's very dependable, stable, and almost all skill sets also. She's 5th in receiving. And as an outside hitter, it's very important that you are stable in receiving because at most times you are in the receiving pattern. And she is also fast in adjusting, and I think that's very important because, you know, as a player who's a very well-studied Angel Canino, she's fast in recognizing na nababasa na yung tendencies niya and she's able to adjust right away.
And at some point, she was also being mentioned, possible rookie MVP. We
Possible.
might have back-to-back, you never know, with the number 1 team. Ayala, I'm going to see you tomorrow, right? It's going to be such an exciting day. But as always, thank you very much for swinging by the game. And after the break, we shift to boxing as our national team gets set to represent the flag at the Southeast Asian Games. Stay tuned. You're still watching the game. Welcome back to the game. The country's boxers are on a quest to continue their golden journey in the Southeast Asian Games ring. Our very own Dip Dip Bianco sat down with the national boxing team in this SEA Games edition of Inside the Game.
Rogen, currently ikaw yung may hawak ng men's 52-kilogram title, winning the country's first boxing gold in the 31st Southeast Asian Games last year. Ikaw yung naunang makakuha ng ginto. Paano mo pinaplanong i-defend siguro itong gintong medalya mo this time in the flyweight division?
Ayan nga sir, so far ngayon nga focus kami ngayon sa training muna. Siyempre, darating din naman tayo dyan sa kumbaga step by step muna sa ngayon. Yun nga, preparation namin ngayon for training camp muna para yung mga ang galaw namin ma-adapt namin agad. Tapos ayun nga, pagdating ng competition, maka-adjust kami doon.
So we're rooting for you, Roger, na ma-defend mo yung gold medal na yan sa flyweight division. No? Tatanong pa kita later on about your preparations, but lipat tayo kay Ian. Ian, for context lang, no, back in 2015 sa Singapore Games, nakakuha ka ng gold. But then nag-back-to-back bronze ka in 2017 sa Kuala Lumpur, and then bronze ka rin sa 2019 SEA Games dito sa Pilipinas. But last year sa Hanoi, you were able to get that gold in your division. No? Can you describe to us the journey? Kamusta yung feeling na nakuha mo ulit yung gold medal last time?
Yun sir, mahirap kasi nag-training camp kami sa ibang bansa, walang uwian, tapos yung training talaga pupukan po talaga. Tapos yung mindset ko talaga makuha naman yung gold kasi parang naano ako sa sarili ko, parang gusto kong may mapatunayan man sa sarili ko ulit na kung kaya ko pa talaga sir, kung may bubuga ko pa talaga. Kaya naghingi rin ako tulong sa mga coaches sa ABAP na tulungan ako na ma-improve pa yung mga kulang sa akin.
Ano yung mga specific na mga parang pinagtrabahuhan mo? Kasi nga, I'm sure yung bronze medal for you, parang sabi mo, kailangan higitan ko pa to, either silver or gold. Meron ka ba mga specific na talagang tinutukan na skills sa training? Ano yung mga tinrabaho mo?
Ay sir, yung nakikita kasi ng mga coach ko sa akin, yung power ko nandiyan daw po, yung power, yung kulang ko na sa akin, yung timing, yung suntok, yung accuracy daw po. Kaya yun yung tinutukan talaga nila po sa akin, yung parang binalik nila ako ulit sa basic.
Alright, salamat Ian. No? Lipat tayo kay Coach Marcos, of course.
I still talk about the mental concepts. No? Just earlier we had a meeting. But basically, it's for them to focus more on the process and to really just align themselves to the type of athlete that they want to be in the SEA Games. No? Kasi obviously, there will be a lot of distractions. There will be a lot of unpleasant thoughts and feelings. Diba? There will be pressure. There will be, sometimes you're gonna doubt yourself. You know, sometimes merong anxiety. Diba? May mga, I mean, those thoughts and feelings will naturally occur during the SEA Games because it's an important event for us. But it's as always, it's how you respond. Kumbaga we accept and we're aware na merong mga ganyan tayong ma-experience, but we respond by focusing on the task and by aligning ourselves with who we want to be as athletes.
Right.
So, yun yung
siguro
reminder
coach,
palagi.
Yeah. Siguro coach, I wanted to ask you, how challenging is it na syempre iba-iba yung response ng athletes eh. Sabi mo nga, with the pressure regards to SEA Games. Do you have like specific programs na okay, kay Ian, ganito yung gagawin ko, ganito yung treatment ko. Kay Rogen, ganito dapat ako. Siguro iba-iba ba yung pag-atake nyo towards helping these athletes?
Yeah, more with communication and individually. Meron din mga preferences din talaga yung mga athletes, no? Yung iba would be better when you challenge them, no? Kasi kuwari mabigat yung competition, if you challenge them and they're better off looking forward to the challenge. Yung iba naman medyo mas careful ka kasi they might be overwhelmed by the pressure, no?
Balik tayo kay Rogen, no? Meron ka bang inaabangan na mga kalaban sa SEA Games in Cambodia? Meron ka bang particular country na excited makaharap?
So for sure, halos lahat naman, syempre, lahat sila sumusuntok din eh. May training din, at saka, yun nga, depende na lang sa diskarte at saka, yun, sa training namin, mailabas namin yung mga laro namin.
Ako sasagot, Miguel. Thailand yung ano.
Thailand, okay.
Nilook forward niya si Roger.
What is it with Thailand, siguro?
Well, that was his opponent. Thailand was his opponent in the finals also last year's SEA Games.
Okay.
And magaling din yung Thai kasi former medalist sa world. No? So si Roger naman, former Olympian, and that medal na rin sa world level. So maganda match-up nila. Ako na sumagot for you,
Tahimik lang si Rogen pero deep down, Thailand pala yung aabangan niya. Baka may gusto kang message sa kalaban mo, Rogen. Hindi, biro lang.
Sa akin ganito, focus mo na. Kumbaga hindi ko muna sila iniisip. Yung sarili ko. Para pagdating doon, siyempre, may kanya-kanyang diskarte. Kaya depende na lang kung paano mo i-handle sa kalaban.
Alright, and there you have it. Ian Clark Bautista ang lalaban para sa ating or defend the gold medal in the bantamweight division. You also have Rogen Ladon para naman sa flyweight division. Of course, Coach Marcos Manalo. Thank you so much for joining us, guys, and good luck. We wish you the best. We're sending our prayers in the upcoming SEA Games in Cambodia.
That was Steve DePianco and Inside the Game with the national boxing team. After the break, we'll give you the latest on the FIBA Basketball World Cup happening here. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back. You're watching The Game. As the 2023 FIBA Basketball World Cup inches closer, FIBA and the Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas inked a partnership with the San Miguel Corporation. SMC has officially signed on as a partner for the country's hosting of the biggest basketball event of the year. President and Chief Executive Officer Ramon S. Ang expressed his excitement for the return of the World Cup to the Philippines and the prestige it will bring to the country. The World Cup will be held in the Philippines from August 25 to September 10.
And in more FIBA World Cup news, the 2023 FIBA World Cup draw is coming to Manila Saturday, April 29 at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. Find out which of the 32 teams in the FIBA World Cup will be grouped together in the preliminary stage. And you can catch special appearances by basketball legend Luis Scola and performances from Sara Geronimo, Billy Crawford, and global Phil-Am artist Sweetie. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. I'm Boom Gonzalez.
Catch us weeknights here on One News, One Sports, and One Sports Plus. I'm Paulo Del Rosario, and this has been The Game.